Hello, this is going to be a bit of a different video. This is going to be a fly on the wall, not edited or anything video, and as you can tell I'm not sort of very upbeat sounding because I have something to get off my chest, and I think it requires a video to me to discuss that and for people to get the message across really with what I want to say. As you can probably guess by the title, it's relevant to the recent news about the UK leaving the EU. Now, I'm going to state very quickly, I am not a political person and I don't get involved with this sort of thing very often, but I think I need to talk about this in some respect. Now, before I go on, this is not going to be about the politics of both sides. At the end of the day, the vote has been cast. And I don't really want to discuss the politics. I think I want to discuss the reaction. What actually happened, and what I've seen and what I've heard. Now, I am part of the group, part of the now majority, which honestly I didn't believe was, of the people who want to leave the EU. If I'm perfectly honest, I didn't expect this result. I honestly believe that, from what I've seen and what I've heard, the majority was actually in the Remain party. Obviously this is not the case, so I wasn't really expecting to make this video. Anyway, so really I'm upset at the response to this. Up until about a week ago, I was completely undecided. And to be honest, I didn't really care that much about what the future of this country is going on and anything like that, and it just didn't seem like something I wanted to talk about. I thought I'd vote, but I wouldn't have much of an opinion on it, and it's the last couple of days that have made me decide and made me go for the way I did. Now, I'm not going to talk about the element of it that I feel why we should have left and what was better and what was not, because there's no point in discussing that. You know, this has happened now, so up until the build-up, I went on social media quite a lot. Mistakenly, I shouldn't have done that, really. As I thought perhaps I could talk with people, especially on Twitter, most notably on Twitter, with people I support and follow. And I hope that since these people I agree with on a lot of levels, they would have the same opinion as me. And I thought, okay, we can have a discussion. Judging by the fact that this was nearly 50-50, I thought it would be the case with people I look up to and people I see on social media. This was not the case. Everybody was opposite to me, and that was weird. That was not expected. How everybody I thought would be mixed everybody was up for remaining, and that's fine. At the end of the day, if we had stayed, I would have been fine with that. I would have been okay. But before the actual vote was cast, so many of these people, not maybe indirectly, and I'm not going to name anybody because that's not fair, tried to sort of make people vote for the in-cause. And I got angry about that, the fact that it sounded like these people were trying to take people's vote away from them. The vote is the vote, people decide, and obviously people will decide, but if you're somebody who's undecided, you're going to take word from somebody you look up to, and that basically makes it count as somebody else's vote, really. I think at the end of the day, if you were undecided, you just flipped a coin, rather than listen to somebody who had a very strong opinion on it, because the same with my own parents. My own mum had a very strong opinion on which way she was going to go, and I didn't want to be forced to do the same. I didn't want to be pressured because of somebody else's opinion, and I felt that was wrong of everybody who, not just people who wanted to, anybody who on Twitter or anybody with any sort of following that tried to push people into voting for whatever one they wanted to vote, that person wanted to vote for. Even people like David Cameron, Boris Johnson, these people should not have said what they were going to vote for. They should have just kept neutral and let people decide. This is why a controversy has sort of come up now. And I thought, I made the stupid mistake of tweeting about it a couple of times, and I thought I'm going to leave it till the morning to see what happens, expecting for us to remain, and obviously it turns out we're not. And I woke up to a Twitter that was full of hatred. People who just full of what was it? Lack of hope, lack of enthusiasm for any kind of future. Like, this was the decider. This was the decider that makes or breaks. This was whether we, whether the UK will sink under the ocean because of the fact we're not part of the EU. The EU is holding us up with sticks or something, And I felt like it was just mindless anger. I know people are frustrated and people are angry about what's gone on, and I can sort of see, but at the same point, this has happened now, and people aren't, if I'm honest, people aren't trying to look on any decent side of it. They're basically labelling everything as doom and gloom, and it got me down this morning. I got really upset about it, really, if I'm honest. It's something that these people that I agree with, look up to, people I support, were labelling everybody who voted out as people like Nigel Farage, people that gunner that killed Sarah, I forgot her name now, Joe Cox, that's it, sorry. People that sort of person. I was being it felt like, even though I wasn't personally being labelled, I felt like I was being labelled along with these people, as if everybody who voted to leave was a psychopath or a nutcase or somebody who is a complete arsehole. Because if I'm honest, if you're watching this, Nigel, this is my opinion, which you won't be anyway, I think these people are fucking crazy. And I'm not going to censor myself, because at the end of the day, I don't agree with these people, and I hate it, and I feel actually generally insulted that I was being labelled. I felt like my vote was being put with these people. These people have their own opinions, and just because I agree with them on their basis of whether we should stay in with a group of our country or not, is irregardless. And I think I just hated it. I'm frustrated by the fact that stereotypes. One thing that was pushed around was the fact that because if we stay with the EU, we're diverse, we allow people to come in and out, and we're united, we're not stereotypical. But then suddenly we're being stereotyped. So much people being so flipping hypocritical, and it winds me up. That went right out of the window, didn't it? And I think people were also labelling anybody who voted out as people who didn't consider the facts, people who didn't look into it. And I'm going to tell you one thing. This decision was very difficult. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It was so fucking difficult to decide. I was on the fence for such a long time, and my decision was what I went with because it felt right. I put so much thought into this, more than anything else I've ever done, if I'm honest. So there was no lack of thought there, if I'm honest, at all. And that's insulting. So, what do I want, really? What was the point of this video? I think rather than just a vent or just me talking about this reaction, is I want people to perhaps be a bit more hopeful for the future. A lot of people have already decided that the UK is doomed because of this decision. People were bringing in the immigration thing. People were talking about how the pound's dropped already and things like that. One thing that was pointed out to me, and this is the only thing I will say about the pound dropping, because it's gone lower than it's ever had done. But to be honest, it's only gone down 2 points than ever. The EU raised the price of the pound to something like 150 something to the dollar, and then it's gone supplementing down to make people think that, oh my god, it's a big drastic drop. No, that was push. That was the EU trying to entice us in, and obviously to stay, and obviously we didn't. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I'm just going to say that perhaps people should have a bit of faith. People can't change the result. You can't change the result, and the majority of the UK, whether you like it or not, have decided to go out. And at the end of the day, I'm just as scared as you lot. I'm just as scared and unsure about the future. But you know what? Maybe once in a while it's nice to take a risk. And if it goes absolutely down the frickin' frying pan, then we can learn from it. I think people are too fear-mongering and assuming it's the end of everything when it clearly is not. So, back to the title of this video. Where's the hope? Not where's the hope now we've left. Where's the hope in the UK? I'm going to leave you with that.